Can you imagine landing a plane with no engines? Well, believe it or not, this actually happened in 1983, and today we'll tell you all about it. Welcome to the channel. On July 1983, Air Canada Flight 143 was soaring through the Canadian sky. It was cruising at 41,000 feet and everything seemed fine. But what the pilots didn't know was that they had a serious issue. The plane was running on fumes. See, the Airbus A800 had left Montreal earlier that day, bound for Edmonton. But somewhere over northern Ontario, the flight crew realized they had a miscalculation. They had taken off with too little fuel. Yes, you heard that right. A modern commercial jet running out of gas in the middle of nowhere. But don't blame the pilot just yet. There is more to the story. You see, when the plane was being refueled in Montreal, someone mistakenly put the wrong number of zeros in the computerized fuel management system. Instead of putting 14,000 pounds of fuel in the plane, which was the right amount, they put in 4,100 pounds, which was way too little. And by the time they realized their mistake, it was too late. The plane was in the air, and the fuel was being used up fast. The pilots, Captain Robert Pearson and his first officer, had to make a decision. They had two options, neither of which was good. They could turn back to Montreal, but that meant going back uphill. The plane would have to climb to its cruising altitude all over again, which meant burning even more fuel. Or they could press on to Edmonton, hoping they had just enough fuel to make it. They chose the latter and hoped for the best. But soon they realized that their hope was fading fast. With every passing minute, the fuel gauge dropped a little more. And with 69 passengers on board, the stakes were high. They needed a backup plan, and they needed it fast. That's when Captain Pearson put out a Mayday call, alerting the authorities to their situation. He then got on the phone with Winnipeg Air Traffic Control. He needed to land the plane, and he needed to do it fast. He said, "We're going to require a strip up immediately. We're going to require a strip up immediately." He knew that he didn't have much time left, and he needed to act quickly. But before he could do anything, he had to turn the Airbus A800 into a glider. That's right. He literally had to turn a modern commercial jet into a glider. He cut off the engines and prepared for the landing. Now, you might be wondering why he didn't just glide the plane down from 41,000 feet. Well, that's because the plane needed some speed for the landing, so he kept the engines running until the very last moment. As the plane began to lose altitude, Pearson put the Airbus A800 into a shallow dive. The plane was now nothing but a big, heavy glider, and Pearson was at the controls. With a lot of experience as a glider pilot, Pearson knew exactly what to do. He turned the plane toward a decommissioned airstrip in Gimli, Manitoba. But as he got closer, he realized that things were not looking good. The airstrip was deserted, but it wasn't empty. You see, the strip had been converted into a racetrack, and there were people everywhere. Pearson knew that he couldn't land the plane just anywhere. He needed to make sure that everyone was safe. He circled the track once, hoping to find a clear spot, and then he did. He saw a small group of cars parked on the side, and he knew that he had found his spot. He lined up the Airbus A800 with the makeshift runway and began his descent. The plane touched down smoothly, and Pearson knew that he had done it. He had landed a plane with no engines, no less than 4,500 feet above sea level. He had turned a potentially disastrous situation into a safe one. Not a single life was lost. All 69 passengers survived. The Airbus A800, which had been gliding through the skies like a giant seagull, had made an emergency landing in the middle of a racetrack. And the pilot, Captain Robert Pearson, had saved everyone on board. The incident became known as the Gimli Glider incident, and it was one of the most amazing stories of aviation history. It was a story of how one man's quick thinking and experience had saved the day. It was a story that showed how even in the most desperate situations, hope was not lost. This is the host with the channel, and until next time, keep looking up.